Welcome to a world of unforgettable experiences and immersive marketing. Transform your events into extraordinary moments that captivate your audience. Whether it's corporate gatherings, product launches, or community celebrations, our immersive marketing solutions elevate your events to new heights. Immerse your attendees in a world of audio books and podcasts tailored to your brand. Engage their senses and leave a lasting impression. Explore the power of storytelling with our curated podcast content. From insightful discussions to entertaining narratives, we've got the perfect audio experience for your event. Ready to make your next event unforgettable? Scan the QR code now and book a complimentary immersive marketing call with our experts. Let's create memories together. Elevate your events with immersive marketing. Scan the code and let the magic begin.
Welcome back, folks, to the Pain Point Podcast. We've got another great guest today. I'm going to bring her up here in just a second. I want to thank you guys so much. We had, you know what? It's been a great week. It's been a great few weeks here planning business and strategy. So we've got another great guest coming in here to share about solutions for your business's pain point. That's what we're talking about. And we're going to hit 2026 hard. We're ready to get hot and heavy with 2026 and say, hey, I'm going to come in hot, locked and loaded, ready to conquer. Because what's your quarter look like, right? So come on in, Michele. I want to bring you in and introduce you to everybody.
Boom.
Hello. You're ready. You're locked and loaded, I know, for this next year, right? We were just talking about that.
So normally I do the mic drop at the end, but I'm going to give it to you right now. Because you are ready. You are ready. Props. They're more like props.
Right. The props.
Because it's
Carrot Top.
Here, let me give your audience. I'm going to give you tips throughout this whole show. So this is there you go. See, so you don't have to ever drop the mic that you paid money for. When you buy the mic, you cut out the microphone from the box. And your audience, and if someone gave a little one, they have a little one, right? So you got the big one. So this way you don't know. You're like, oh my God, she actually dropped the mic that cost that much money? No. Yeah. Okay. See, it's all fake,
you need to put some weight on it, so when it hits the floor, you hear the
boom. Yeah. Well,
you got it. Whoa.
I have the sound effects. I got to hook up the sound effects so then I can push the button and go boom. Right. So anyway,
don't do like I did and everything drops, because I get you know, I'm a little handsy. I'm Italian. What can I say?
Yeah, that's quite all right. So there you go. We're starting off with a boom. Okay.
We're starting off with a boom. We're starting off with a bang, because this is the time in business, which is so great. And this is what's so fantastic about visibility and influence, when you can share it on a podcast. And this is the blessing of business. And if you haven't started a podcast, you need to, no matter how you do it, whether you record it, you run some clips, or you're doing it live like we are, just get into it, start doing it. It starts working out. You know, you gotta beta test it. You gotta get out there. You gotta have a little fun. It's not if something's gonna happen. It's when a mistake is gonna happen. And trust me, it does, because tech is constantly updating. Don't let the robots take over. But the thing really starting now is to remember is that if you don't get out there and start talking about your business or your pain points and solutions, that you kind of that water cooler talk, you know, past the gossip, what are things that you can share with your audience that are nuggets, golden nuggets, that normally people don't talk about? Because nobody wants to hear that cookie cutter stuff. That's why your podcast isn't succeeding, because you're not having a good conversation, because you're not talking about anything new, because you're not inventive, you're not creative. But there's so many creative people like yourself, Michele, that come in here. So introduce yourself to the audience and tell them, what do you do? Because you've got a great background and some good experience here.
Yeah, what do I do? So it's constantly evolving. I think that if you're not constantly reinventing yourself in some capacity, you're not doing anything. So don't limit yourself to just one category, right? So Nicole does much more than just virtual stages, but that's her main gig, right? So I'm focusing on two things right now: small business lending and time and intent-based lead generation. And why are those important? And why are they so different than maybe what somebody else is doing? We're at a point right now, you just talked about 2026. Do you have enough capital and money to go into 2026 the right way? Or when you're looking at your business, have you had a couple hiccups in the past where you need to consolidate. Maybe it's time to leverage, and it's always time to grow. So I'm going to put a lot more emphasis and focusing on that starting today, moving forward, because there's a need for it, because we're talking about pain points today. So what else do I want you to know about me? I do have a podcast. I've had that since 2018. I'm working with a company called BizFi, and I am the head of sales acceleration. Okay. We came up with that title, sales acceleration, because why? Because everybody needs more sales, right? Because what does more sales do? If you get more sales, it means you have more clients, customers, and cash, which the lead generation does that too. But what does that really mean? And this will flow right into the pain points. You have more time and financial freedom. And when you have more time and financial freedom, you won the game. You really won the game, because yes, you're using AI, but as we were discussing pre-game show, if you don't use it the right way, you're just shaving off a little bit of time, because I learned so much. And I was telling Nicole this, I've done 85 one-on-ones, which is a Zoom call, which is technically a podcast. Okay. So if you think that you can't do a podcast and you did a one-on-one with somebody, that's a podcast. And hey guys, if it was automatically recorded or the other person recorded, get a copy. You just launched your first show. Okay.
Bam.
Then that's it. It's that easy. So I've had so many people tell me, Michele, well, how do I start? I said, you push record. They go, what? I said, yeah, you push record. It reminds me of when I first got on the radio, and I had a real talk radio show. This was when you used to come out of the speaker of the car, right? Back when we had radios, right? So in 2002, I was at a networking. Cars. Yeah, well, when we had cars, right? They don't everything's Waymo, automatic cars now. So I was at a networking event. And this lady told me she worked at one of the local radio stations in Phoenix. I'm in Scottsdale, Arizona. And I said, well, what does it take to get a radio show? She goes, can you write a check for $4,000? I said, yes. Do you want it now? And she goes, yeah. I said, when can I start? She goes, Saturday. This was Tuesday. I said, okay, I'm in. So that's how you get a real radio show. People are like, you just write a check for it. Okay. And then you're supposed to get sponsors. But that's how it starts. So with that being said, you don't have to do that anymore. You just push record. So you have no barrier for entry in order to start a podcast. So everyone needs one, because it's a stage, right? Because we're talking virtual stages today too. Everybody has a stage. So it just depends on what kind of stage do you have. Nicole helps you do those virtual stages, gets on other people's stages, but gets you to host your own stage. But you can have mini stages up until you do your big event, your virtual summit, because you have your own podcast. So you have that as a stage. Your social media platform is a stage, but it's a lot easier to get people's attention when you are having a podcast, because people have very short attention spans, and you have video clips, and they love that, like the cat videos that people used to watch all the time. So it is definitely a tool. But do you want to get into the pain points? But yeah, so right now, small business lending, here's the catch, everybody. They just lowered the interest rates, okay? Because they know people need the money, and they know people are really tight on things. So now is your time to clean up, consolidate, leverage, and grow, and get positioned for 2026. So we have all the possibilities that you can do. So I need people to call me, and we'll flash that information up here in a second. I have my trusty sign right behind me in the chair that I don't sit in anymore. Somebody asked me, Michele, do you do all your shows standing up? I said, yes. You said, you do all your Zoom calls standing up? I said, yes. And they said, why? I said, well, because in 2022, in September of 2022, I was telling the world, you must stand up, speak up, and show up, because yes, you must do that. And it was weird telling people to stand up when I was sitting in a chair. So the chair came, I spent $150 on it, one of those nice director chairs. And 2 weeks later, I realized I cannot tell people to stand up while I'm sitting in a chair. And here we are today. So yeah. Anyway, little side note, little nuggets. So don't do what I did.
Those are great. Those are great nuggets and great takeaways. You know what?
Yeah.
But you don't know that if you don't push record, right?
You didn't know that if you don't know that if you don't push record. So I'm going to give you a quick other nugget, because we're doing pain points. All right. So let's just say that you go on a podcast Because once you're in the podcasting realm, you want to go on other shows because you want to go on other people's stages because you want to have your own stage and you need guests for your stage. Plus, you want to get your message out. Now, look at this sign. Okay. This is a very high budget show that I have here. And I don't have to wait on Nicole to pop up my information. So I want you to have my information in the beginning, right? Because let's just say you're like, I only got 5 minutes and I don't want to listen to you guys anymore, but I want to stay in touch. So now you have my information here. I'm going to update my sign. But you on my website, savemyfreedom.us. That's savemyfreedom.us. I'm going to do a QR code on the next one. But look, because I want you to contact me, I'm giving you my phone number.
High
601
budget, we're flashing. Flash. Maybe you should flash your screen.
Yeah, right. Oh, there you go. I'm flashing you. 601-301-3503, 601-301-3503. What I have found is most people tune out, not because they don't like you. It's just literally the attention span is lower than a goldfish's 5 seconds. So look at that. See, look how cheap. This whole thing, the double-sided tape costs more than both of the printouts at Staples and the sign combined because I had to buy the double-sided tape.
Yeah.
So that costs more.
You got a master class coming up too, since you're flashing your sign, and then we'll get into some more pain points. You got a master class, and we're going to talk about those leads, right? Because I know that's what you sent me, and I really want to get into I want to get into the importance of lead generation, and don't let Facebook take your life away and control you. You take your life back. And how do you do that? You take the leads. You get the information. Every time Facebook comes up with this new amazing business tool that's totally going to burst the bubble on your engagement, your connection, and you're ready to do it, Facebook takes it away. And then you're stuck not only with cat videos, but people in bikinis who should not be wearing bikinis, or just some strange neighbor information and a little TMI. I don't want to know what salad you're eating. I don't want to know who you're with. Maybe I want to talk to you a little bit, but some of the stuff, it's a little TMI on a personal note with people. Don't want to know what happened with your neighbor. But the thing is that when you get in there and so you're lost in the space of the doom scroll, never hitting the end into the Facebook, that Facebook wall, and you're going and going and going. Do something that's healthier for you and take control, get the leads. And when you get leads, whether you're hosting an event, you're engaging with people on LinkedIn, you're getting in their DMs, you're talking to them, first of all, get a spreadsheet. Start putting those leads down, whether you use and add them into one of your system. At least do yourself a favor and add them into your CRM. Add them into your emailing list and connect with them. Don't just get them and hold them. Don't hoard them and shove them in a box in your closet. Use them. They gave it to you, so they want to be connected. You do it all the time. You give your information away, and then people don't necessarily re-engage, and you forget about it. And a tip that happened the other day, and I want to say this again, it's so important for people to see and understand that when the masses of emails that go out, there's no logo on these emails. There's no face on these emails. There's no comfort. There's no connection. There's no trust. I don't know you from Adam. I don't remember you. Put a picture there. Maybe I signed up for something and I haven't even met you yet, but put your logo in there. So let's not lose these great touch points in the connections. And when someone uses a tool that you have with your leads that you're going to get into, is the solution is you want warm connections, but you have cold connections that you want to reach out to. I just created another workflow. It's probably like 4 weeks or something. And I got a great email back from somebody who teaches speakers and says, hey, and he reads a lot of people's stuff, and he criticizes it for a living, and he gets paid for this. He's like, hey, great email. I love the subject line, the content. I actually read through it, and I was like, this is awesome. It's not just awesome that somebody recognized that you sent something, but it's awesome that they actually read it. And what are you putting out there? So you got to start somewhere. And then as you do it, tweak it. Don't wait for someday because it's not on the calendar, because you're getting ready to get ready. And that's a lot of conversation I had. People are not ready for 2026, and they don't have a plan or a journey. So let's get that out there. But start with the leads and what's going on with your really cool masterclass here.
Yeah. So one thing to add to what she was talking about when you're sending out those emails, she said, put in a logo. Now, if you had a podcast episode, you just put the link for the podcast so someone now can relate to you even better, and you just promoted yourself. So another connection there, right? So lots of things you can do when you are putting yourself out there, and you can wrap this all around. But when we're talking about the leads, we're doing time-based and intent in-market leads, right? So what that is, it's ethically sourced, verified in-market leads searching right now online for what you have to sell. So why is that different than Facebook ads? Facebook ads, if you ever set up a Facebook ad, or if you could see, there's certain demographics. So those people aren't looking for what you're selling. Okay. So there's no intent. Facebook is making an assumption based on what you have put in your Facebook profile at some point of what your interests are, and then your demographics or your average income. And they're plopping ads in front of you based on what they assume you may be interested in. So that's the difference between placing an ad in front, like a billboard on the side of the freeway, hoping that you're going to get somebody who needs a divorce attorney, because the odds are 50% of the people need a divorce attorney, right? So that's the ads. So you have a little bit, so you're not just marketing to, you're not just saying you have a female oriented product and you're marketing to men and women. You can actually just market to women, right? But you don't know if anybody really wants that female product. When you're doing intent based leads and you have that data, which is what we have access to, that we provide to the clients, you get to choose the keyword searches and the demographics of what you want your ideal customer to be and what they are looking for now, because we also base it on time-based, meaning we can search anywhere from these people are looking for the past 2 days up into 10 days. But let's just say you want to keep it as fresh as possible. So think of these leads as different. It's a lot of people have had lead generation in the past, and the word lead generation has 20 different meanings now. Back when I had a mortgage brokerage, lead generation meant here is a name, a phone number, an email, a address. Here's how much money they make. And by the way, they need to refinance their house and this is their credit score. That's a lead. Okay. Now lead generation has hundreds of different meanings. We're bringing it back to old school meaning, where this is actually the information for the person, but we're giving you 85 different columns of information about the person. And this is somebody who is actively right now searching for keyword searches that you have chosen, that they are inputting online somewhere in the internet, AI SEO, regular SEO, publications, you name it, search engines, so that you can actually control who and find out who is looking for what you have. They just don't know you exist. So now we're bringing that audience to you, and you are on the stage, and your job is to then perform and close to them. So you can market to them in many, many different ways. But at least we're bringing the audience to you that doesn't know who you exist, but they know they need what you have. They just don't know. It's like a matchmaking service. So I want you to think of it as, these aren't just leads in a sense where here's a sheet of names and phone numbers and emails, so go ahead and target them. This is a perpetual prospecting machine where we're actually providing you new data of people actively looking for what you have to sell every 48 hours, where it becomes part of a system. And that is why it's so different than a traditional, what you would think a lead generation term is, or here's leads, or here's a sheet of people, names and phone numbers. So it's very strategic, it's precise. And the other thing that people need to get their arms around this, and this will piggyback on the Facebook ads. 97% of people that go to websites leave without converting. Okay. So with those statistics, you're spending, let's just say you're spending $1,000 a month on Facebook ads. 97% of them go to your website and leave. Okay. That's a huge problemo, because you've spent all this time and effort thinking, all right, I'm going to go ahead and get them to my landing page, get them to my website so I can convert them from the Facebook ad. And they leave. And why do they leave without converting? Has nothing to do with not liking you. They got distracted. They have low attention spans. The doorbell rang. The cat yawned. The text message went off. They couldn't find where you were on your, I know it's a good one, right?
Shiny object, shiny object.
Woo! They had 20 windows open and then they got distracted and then they bookmark you, but they have 400 bookmarks. So they're like, I don't know where she was. I couldn't figure it out. It's too bad. Oh, wow. Right. And then you've all been through the experience where you've had somebody, you're working with them and you're trying to get them to get to the point of conversion, a time where they're going to sign up. Maybe you've had them in your email deal. Maybe you've actually had contact with them, phone, one-on-ones, whatever. And then they go with somebody else. And it's always, the thing is you, and it's always, how many times you have the friend that does it? I use this example. This happened to a friend of mine like 2 times. She's always dating these guys, right? And she's ready to get married and they're not ready to get married. So they break up with her and literally like a month or 2 later, they get engaged to somebody else. And it's happened to her like 2 times, right? And she says at me and she would ask the guy, like, what happened? He goes, you know what? She goes, well, was I the problem? Like you didn't want to get engaged to me? He goes, no, I just like 2 months later, I was ready. So there was the first person that came along and it seemed okay. And she was there. She was there. Okay. That's the same thing with clients. You just sometimes have to be in the right time because when somebody's ready to pull the trigger, they're going to pull the trigger, right? So it's important to be in front of people who are looking right now for what it is that they need, which is what you have. Again, they just don't know who you are. So with the website deal, it's a funny story. I like to tell that. So, because it makes me remember the look on her face when she found out both of them were engaged, like literally 2 months after they broke up with her.
She primed and prepped them. She did all the work.
She said she did all the work. Well, that's what one of them told her. Thank you for saying that. He goes, well, you kind of got me ready. So I was ready. She's like, but I did the work. I deserve the benefit. And he's like, no, I just, we were done. And then she came along and I was ready to go. She's like, she did the
they
leveled.
They leveled up. They got the newer model, but it's in that was she ready? But the other reflection is, were you ready? You're the coach or consultant collecting the leads. Were you ready for that client when the client came? Don't be ready to get ready. Don't get ready.
That's the other thing. Yeah. So if you're not ready to bring on somebody because a lot of the things you've done are in theory or you're just not prepared with your calendar, your schedule, then you could have 20 clients at your door ready to go and you can't handle it. That's a problem too. You need to be prepared if you're going to be engaging in, even if you're doing outreach, because if you do an email campaign or you're just got on the phone and you're calling all these people and then they start calling back and then they're asking you questions and then it takes you 3 or 4 days to get back to them, that doesn't work. I heard a statistic yesterday that 90%, there's a 900% success rate if you get back to the person within 5 minutes. A 900% success rate of them converting and choosing you as their person if you go back in 5 seconds, because we were talking about trades.
So if you plan your campaign and you plan when that goes out, you be ready next to the phone to call people when it comes in. So you don't just let it go randomly because it's overwhelming. If you strategically plan it and get that ready, and that's a lot what I talk to my clients with. Once you set up the strategy and you're there, you just need to put it in place. You have everything in your closet. You have all these folders. You have all these files. You're ready to go. Mm-hmm. Obviously, you feel ready because you're networking. You're out there. You're doing podcasts. So take what you have, just lay it out, get rid of the junk that you need, get your top, and then you pull the trigger, then you're ready to get on the phone, jump on the phone and call these people when they react. And when that campaign is going out, you have full control. You have your own marketing system and you're ready. And I know the other day I was ready. Someone called me for an event and they needed somebody to co-host. And I wasn't planning to be there because I didn't hear back from them, but they're like, hey, I'll see you in a couple hours. And I went, you know what? I still have you on my calendar. I'll show up. Had to rearrange some stuff, but that's it. An actor and actress, you're ready for that part. Well, not today. It's a bad day. They call you. That's your branding. That's your marketing, right? Be ready.
Let me give you another example. I love examples because people can relate to them. So Joan Rivers, phenomenal comedian. Okay. Probably the best female comedian, besides Lucille Ball. Two different type of
Oh.
genres, but yes, those are my two faves. And she said that she said, don't ever turn down a gig. Okay. She goes, I never turned down a gig. She goes, I don't care if it was for diapers, adult diapers. And I think she even did commercials for that at some point. She did a douche commercial. She's like, I don't care. Just give me the commercial. She goes, never turn down work, guys. Never turn down work. Never turn down an opportunity because if it's paying, you get money, but you never know what it's going to lead to. So that's always been my thing. And Nicole is verifying that. So don't say, oh, I just don't have time to do that. No, figure out a way. Unless you literally are so booked where you have so much money. If you're making 20 grand a month, turn this show off. Okay. I'm going to give you right now the ability to do that. If you're making 20 grand a month, turn us off and go make 40 grand. But if you're not making 20 grand a month, you need to listen to these little tips because they will get you to that 20 grand a month. Okay.
And it's not hard to apply a little here and a little there. Don't overwhelm yourself. Put it on your calendar. My goodness, get a timer out, right? Get a kitchen timer out. Make that noise because I have my phone timer. I always hit snooze on it, and it's like, oh, what happened? I turned it off. But it's like a ringer. Sometimes you're in that admin moment. Schedule that time. Do one thing, get it done, check it off your list, and go. The only thing I have to plan out is video because once you got all that video and those clips together, you can't get out of the system because you lose the editing portion of it. That is the only thing that you have to be there kind of babysitting a little bit. But if you're here and that's what's great, you're live on a podcast, you're influencing people. This is a marketing strategy. You're talking to your avatar. You're ready. You turned on the camera and you will always be ready. You'll be that great leader. That is what we're talking about today. Utilizing the leverage, taking that moment, putting it down, get a calendar, get a daily planner every night before. I write down what I have to do for the next day because I know those calls and I'm going to get some stuff. You might not be able to get to everything. And you might be staying up all night. That's okay. Get up early in the morning. Yesterday I got up at 4. The point is be able to pivot. And if you're ready, you can pivot and you know that all those things like you were talking about, the squirrel moments, the shiny object moments, you're busy being busy. Yeah. You're not doing anything.
Yeah, busy
and it
being
makes
busy.
You want to fall out, right?
Yeah, I think what she's saying about the calendar is so critical. And I'll give you another example of my personal testimony. I was doing a lot of busy work up until I really got engaged and understood all these virtual marketing or virtual networking events that I had no idea existed. So once I got into a pattern of going to these virtual networking events and scheduling the one-on-ones, I really had a calendar. Okay. So other than that, I was doing work, but I was doing busy work. And busy work doesn't get you bills paid. Busy work doesn't get you clients and customers. It might give you a great paragraph for your profile or for a post, but that's not getting in. If you're not in front of people in some capacity, whether it's on a podcast or one-on-ones or going to virtual networking groups or in-person networking groups, and you're not spending thousands and thousands of dollars in ads, the leads are separate because that is something where it's going out without your face on it, but your face, you need to be out in front of as many people as possible all the time. Otherwise, you're just at your desk doing busy work. But if you schedule it, well, when I got into scheduling these one-on-ones, then because a very good friend of mine who's very successful, and she's kind of somewhat retired in regards financially, but she's always doing the next and best project. So she told me, Michelle, I live by my calendar. She goes, everything is on my calendar, even when I take a 10-minute break, or if I'm going to be sending back emails or whatever it is. So in addition to appointments, everything she booked on the calendar, and then she color codes it so that she knows exactly so it becomes systematic so that you can actually get things done. Because if you don't do it that way, an hour will go by and you're like, well, it's already 3:00. And then you're jumping on other calls or you're getting work done in between because there's that physical work that needs to be done. Like she's talking about video editing and even planning for her virtual events just doesn't happen. It takes time. So, and you can, obviously you're using the AI in some capacity, but time block your calendar and start putting every activity on there and schedule it, color code it, and you watch. Your day will change. Your day will turn around. You will start to get through that to-do list, because my to-do list is very long. And then usually most of it rolls to the next day, which then rolls to the next day. I got a stack this long that if I go back, I still have stuff that I didn't get done from 6 months ago that I wanted to put on there, that I'm like, oh, it's too late now. That expiration date has well passed, so there's no point. So literally now January 1st is not a magical day. It's the same day as December 31st. We all treat it as, okay, I'm going to start fresh. No, start today. Start this afternoon. Okay. I think there's 20 days left to the end of the year.
Yeah.
So don't wait until January 1st to go to that magical gym that you have the keychain that's worn off that you don't even know where the gym is. Okay.
But they're sure going to charge you for the rest of the year. But
you still have that subscription running through. Okay. So here's the first thing you want to save money? Cancel your gym membership if you don't go every day. There's enough heavy stuff around your house that you could lift. And there's enough videos that are free online from everybody and their mother that you can have some great activity, or you can just, depending on where you are, like she's in Florida, I'm in Scottsdale, Arizona, you can walk out the front door and I think the weather will be fine. So I'm saving you money right now. You can cut your cable. Boom. Okay. Look at all the money I'm saving you. So you could use these things for your marketing. And you can use those to get the tools that you need to do your podcast, or it could be investing into
if you
whatever
have
programs.
Zoom already. Here's a clue. Let's make it really easy. This is what we talk to people about, like victims and survivors. How do you get online and market when you're ready to be on camera and you're starting from zero and you need to have an online business, because that's the safest place for you to be right now and not leave your house? You have Zoom. Zoom is free up to about 30 minutes. You can record on Zoom. You can record on your phone and just share it for free on a YouTube channel. Done.
Yeah. Let me give you another tip. So TikTok. Okay. So TikTok, what a friend of mine does, and she films herself and it has a timer on it. She does a 15-minute video every day and takes it, films it for free on TikTok. TikTok gives her the timer, so she knows the 15 minutes. Now she can download that free, still free. So we haven't paid any money yet. And she could use that and repurpose it on all the other social media platforms. So you have now your little shorts, your little reels, your
done.
And it's already finished. And then in TikTok, how everybody puts the little graphics on, little dancing things, or they do the music or whatever. You can do all that on TikTok for free. And then you can download that on your phone, and then you can put it up on, or even send it to in a Dropbox or Google Drive if you have to send it to yourself. You want to get in the computer or send it to somebody else, so you could get it on your social media platforms. It could be repurposed, and that didn't cost any money. So you could start getting yourself out there and do these things. But the cool thing is it has the timer. And it has the ability to stick all that stuff on it. And then you could send it anywhere else. You could put it on your Instagram. You could do your Facebook. You could do all on your YouTube. Yeah. And so there's lots of tools out there. And we still haven't, not only do we save you money, because I just gave you a bunch of things that you should do, you're not being charged. And if the goal is to get out there, which you have to get out there. You have to take action. You have to get out there.
You have to take action. So let's talk, because I want to concentrate and align with the audience that we have here right now. So they're entrepreneurs 40 plus. They're not lazy. They're ready to pay or hire somebody that has the skill, or buy the service, or get the software and implement it with a person like you, like your leads and what you're doing, or finance whatever they need to do. Yeah. So when they're doing that, or they're CEOs coming out of corporate America, 2026 is the year. Get out now if you haven't, and they're in business 5 years plus. They want the service. They just need to hear about that. How would that benefit them and drive their business with what you're offering?
Well, before I step into that, I do want to mention what you and I were talking about before. If you have gone through this experience with somebody else where you've bought a coaching package, or you have paid money for all of these big packages. You're talking thousands of dollars, okay? And you didn't get the results that you thought you were going to get. Don't be anti-coach. Don't be anti-consultant. Don't be anti-package. Don't be anti-virtual stage. Don't be anti-somebody like Nicole and I, because you just haven't found the right person or the timing wasn't right. So there are a lot of great people doing really good work. Some charge a lot, some charge not as much. So don't throw the baby out with the bathwater, which I'm not quite sure why we use that phrase, but I'll just throw it out there. So with that being said, you've had some hiccups, or you've been a little bit of an abrasive, abused relationship with some of these in the past, because there's a lot of them out there. And again, I see a lot of commas. Okay, that means there's a lot of commas in there. Commas scare me. Okay, I'm not gonna lie to you. I even tell my dentist every time I go to see the dentist, he's like, I don't like this tooth. I don't like this tooth. So I said, well, I don't like commas in my dental work, so it's fine until it hurts. Leave it alone. You don't need another boat, and I'm not paying for it. So commas are okay, but commas are scary. And I understand that because there's a commitment involved. So in regards to our lead generation program and platform, it's twofold. Again, I told you in the beginning, it was about intent and time-based lead generation, where you're able to choose what the client is looking for. So they're actively searching, they're hunting, they're ready to go. They are looking for what you have. They just don't know you exist. So that's the intent, the keyword searches. The other thing that we do is, since those 97% of the people leave your website without converting, we're able to put a pixel on your website, boop. And now we are tracking people that are leaving your website, because you want to be able to re-engage them. Again, what we talked about earlier, they don't leave because they don't like you. They leave because of all these other distractions. But these people found you somehow. Maybe they came from an ad. Maybe they came from a marketing piece, a podcast. They stumbled across you. Somehow they found you in the internet, but they got to see you. So they know a little bit about you. They just need to learn more. So we're able to grab those people, scoop them up in a net, anywhere
Right.
from 15 to 25% on the low end, 50 to 60% on the high end, and give them back to you so you could start marketing to them, so you could start putting them in your funnel, so you could start engaging in them. So we made it simple. I'm allowed to extend the Black Friday special we did at Thanksgiving, especially for people like Nicole, who's a friend of mine, has a great podcast and a platform. I'm able to extend the offer that we did, because we wanted the clients to experience the amazing opportunity to have both of those programs. So you have the leads that are coming in, right? Again, it's a perpetual prospecting machine with leads, names, people's contact information, verifiable, contactable leads that are coming to you every 48 hours. Okay. So this is, it's once you have it set up, it's coming in, the leads are coming in, and you're able to then you can put them into your systems, into your funnels. You could direct mail, you can email, you can text message, you can voice message campaign, you can pick up the phone, depending on your industry, depending on the clientele. So you have that system. You have every 2 days that's coming in. Okay. How great is that? So it's autopilot. Ethically sourced leads on autopilot is the masterclass that we just did yesterday. And I'm going to get Nicole the link for the replay so you guys can go ahead and watch that. You're going to get so much information out of that, because that I learned. I have 2 pages of notes from when my co-host Stacy Wariski was presenting. Okay, so you're going to get a ton of that out of that. So what we're offering everybody for this Black Friday special is you get both of the platforms, 3,000 leads. Okay, and we do a 7-day trial. 7-day free trial with the pixel on the website. So you get all those leads for free. I still haven't charged you yet. And you get all the leads for that 1 week that come to your website, and you get to use those. Then you get 1 pull of leads from the keyword searches and demographics that you choose while you're on the Zoom call with the owner of the company, so you can see how the system works. And in that masterclass, I showed everybody behind the scenes on how the system works in regards to pulling the leads, so they could see the data and the steps, so they could see and the numbers coming in, right? So you get all that and you get that locked in price for 3 months, right? Because there's a 3-month minimum contract, $999. So $999 gets you 3 months at that price. You get It's a 7-day free trial for the Pixel. So you get to keep all those leads, and then you get one pool of leads, which I just did it for construction equipment financing for my business. And the first batch of leads I pulled down was 1,112. We did it for, those are people that were looking for construction equipment financing in the past 2 days nationwide. Okay. So so I'm working those right now. I have a handyman. I'll give you an example. I have a handyman. This is actually great. So here's the power of what I want you to understand. Mine was in a nationwide. Okay. And you could put parameters like when we actually put caps on how much how many employees were there, how much the company was making, the numbers change, but you have the flexibility of going narrow for your searches or broad for your searches, depending on what your product or service or your client avatar, your customer avatar is. What this is also great for, because you're thinking, okay, well, I've got a trades business. I've got a professional services business. I got a brick and mortar. Well, we could go by zip code. Okay. So look how powerful this is. So we did a handyman. He's a current client. He's working his leads right now. We pulled handyman, a search for handyman over a 7-day period. And he's in upstate New York. So in New York, New Jersey, you could drive for 10 minutes, go through 7 towns and have 45 zip codes. Okay. So that's just because everything's close together and there's tons and tons of people. For the rest of you in states where you have like two area codes, I'm just explaining how it works back east. So we did 37 zip codes, but that's a 10-mile radius in New York. Okay. So he's a handyman. He physically has to go to each house. So it's not like he's selling pens online where he could sell 1 million pens and he doesn't even have to get out of bed. Okay. So he physically has to go. So we had to carve out a geographic area that made sense to him. So we did that. Now, check this out. The keyword search was handyman. In those 37 zip codes, in a 10-mile area, in a 7-day period, we click the button to see, because you don't know. You have no idea what the internet is searching for. And this is such a fascinating way to understand your clientele, to see the numbers of the people that are searching for the keyword searches. And you're using different keyword searches to kind of get a real sweet spot of where your leads want to be. And it's fascinating to see these numbers. So we click the button and it comes back with 11,864. Jeez. There was 11,864 people in a 7-day period in that little area of New York looking for handyman. Whoa. Okay. Whoa. How great is that? So but a handyman is an industry where you usually look for a handyman when something's wrong. Okay. So it goes back to the urgency. Are you prepared? Are you prepared to handle those calls? Let's just say that he marketed to all 11,864. And the phone's ringing off the hook. He couldn't even handle all those calls. So we had to bring it down. We used keyword searches. We brought it down to 2 days. And we got it down to a starting list for him of 89, because we also wanted to make sure that we had the personal emails, because he wanted to do an email campaign. So we had to make sure that those were verified emails, that was actually the person's email. So after these very specific keyword searches, we got it down to 89 to give him a starting point. So I'm giving you these examples so you can see, I want 11,000 leads. No, you don't want 11,000 leads. What are you going to do with 11,000 leads as a handyman? And you got to you can't even go to 100 houses by the time that person needs their stuff fixed. So you have to be realistic, but you have to really understand your audience. So you just can't say like, when you're talking about pain points, but you have to really identify what is your niche, who is your audience. Because if somebody says, well, I have tons and tons of referrals for you. What's your best referral client? Like what industry? And you're like, every single one of them. No, that's not an answer. Okay.
You can't service that many people.
You can service, and each of them are different. Like is it somebody, is it a dentist? Or do you want a dentist or do you want a plumber? Like, you're like, no, I need a 40-year-old female who is just getting back into the workforce. Okay, well, that's not everybody. Okay, so I have everybody. Which do you want? So you have to be really specific and focus on what it is that your niche is, that you want to serve, that you want to provide the best value to. And then once you really define that, then you can you can hone in and then you can zone in on those specific people and really work that niche and be the go-to guy or the go-to girl in that niche or that area. And then you can always broaden it, right? But you got to start somewhere. But if you're going broad strokes, oh, I can help everybody, then you're not really going to help anybody because it's too broad. And I just gave you the example with the handyman. So, but let's just say that you're a bigger company and you really needed the leads because you're distributing them. Well, you're like, Michelle, I could really use 500. Well, we'll get you the 500. That's easy. I just could give you 11,000. But I'm just saying for the small, the medium, the entrepreneur, the solopreneur, really be specific about who it is that you want to provide the service to, and go with that to start with, and kind of revamp how you're going about it. Because if you're doing too much and you're going too wide, like if you go too wide, you're out of the scene. Like you can't see my hands now, right? Because I went too wide. So now you got to bring it in so you can see my hands and my beautiful nails because I haven't had time to go get them done. So yeah, see, when you're working too hard, you don't get a chance to go get the fills that you need.
But you know that you're there
is that a good
busy making
example?
money. I think it's a great example.
Right. So these are good examples for
because
people.
can connect and say, hey, I get what this is about. So we have people that are ready to get this. We have people that are ready to say, hey, I want to do this. And I think this is so much better than just running a Facebook ad.
It's
so many
cheaper. A
people
lot of
that-
it's cheaper. It's
Yeah.
cheaper. And
There's so
it's
many people that go to
strategic.
Fiverr and hire someone, and of course that's why India is the top tech place, thanks to places like Fiverr, which is great for them. Good for them. They took advantage of those $50 commercials, and when I was doing commercials, I couldn't compete. But the thing is that. And I'm not complaining. You took what was in front of you and ran with it, but they had a niche and they provided a service and they became successful that way. If you serve everybody, if you feel you can't have 20 kids and help them all and be a good parent to them, then you can't do that with your business. It's no fair. So when we get past that and we're saying, hey, this is better than a commercial. Why? Because a commercial is looking for the same data that you should already know what your avatar is. And a lot of people are just connecting data. At a certain point, you're going to want to run one. But there's two good things here, and this is where we really aligned. You get leads you can get us with this really cool tool, and you can have an audience that you engage with online in a summit or a workshop to lead into a live event. So if you want to have live events, you want to reach your community, you have this all set up. And now the blessing is that you have done that market research. You have honed into your avatar, your niche, and really gotten it down. And then how far out do you want to go? And now that you're doing this, you've done all the detective work. Now you want to go get that, right? You want the reward, you want the Medal of Honor. And that is, what is that goal? Do you want to have a retreat trip to Bali? Do you want to, your goal next year is maybe to get an extra $20,000 so you can take a vacation, put some money towards buying a new home. Now you have that goal. What happens? So you have this lead generation going on in the back. You've got live stages that you're on, talking to, connecting, and networking in a larger way, because you can bring all these people. And look, this is where we started with a podcast, circling back to where does that resonate? Now that you are on a stage or you're on a podcast, you're reaching more and more people, especially when you're going live. What YouTube did something amazingly wonderful. They took down all the competition of all these AI only generated graphics or videos or narration. They're demonetizing those. Why? Where does that help? Because you're live in person and now you're connecting. So you're taking and you're using the AI and the tech tools for good. You're doing engagement. And now you can build your business. So as an entrepreneur coming out of corporate America, and you're like, I don't have the team, I don't have the structure, I don't have the departments, I don't know what to do.
Okay.
Here's something that you can take, a super solution, and all you need after that is your workflow. And when you're going to pick up the phone, you have that strategically placed 1 or 2 days a week at least, and boom.
Yeah, the workflow is key. So this is also once you get set up and you're now having this perpetual lead generation, this perpetual prospecting machine set up on your behalf, where you're getting the leads from your own website that left, right? Those people that you paid effort blood, sweat, and tears to get there. You're getting to be able to capture some of those people that left, and you're getting the people that are actively looking for what you have to offer. They just don't know you exist yet. Now you're being able to go ahead and target them. You're able to test the marketplace for your product or service in front of people that are looking for what you have. So you can actually make adjustments to your marketing materials, to your language in the emails or the phone conversations or the text messages that are going out or the voice messages that are leaving, because there's many ways to communicate with these people, or even if it's direct messaging based on their response. And you can even pick up the phone. I mean, God forbid we use the phone anymore, and actually call people and talk to human beings, right? That's like I said, you've got your phone here, which is your database of diamonds. In here, there's millions of dollars. You just haven't even tapped into it, because pick up the phone and start calling some of the people you haven't talked to in a while, because you'd be surprised at how far they've come in their worlds and their niches. And you have no idea who they know that you need to know, that now you need to know that they need to know. Because I know that you know that I know that we know. So they know, okay? They know about more people. Just think of all the people you've met in the past couple of years. How many people do you think that they've met, especially if they were a rocker and a roller and a mover and a shaker back in the day? And you're like, okay, I can only imagine what so-and-so's up to. And then you find out and you're like, who do you know? Like, I know everybody. You need to be my friend. You're like, we are friends. We just haven't talked in a while. So then you can go ahead, and re-engage that. I mean, there's boyfriends, girlfriends, husbands, wives, there's all kinds of stuff sitting in your phone, the database of diamonds. You need to tap into it. But going back to the leads, you can then tweak based on the responses you're getting from people or the non-responses, whatever it may be. You can tweak your languaging and you can hone in and then find your sweet spot on communication with these people in your follow-ups and things like that. So that now you have a perfected, I'm using word loosely, perfected system where boom, bada boom, bada boom. You have the leads coming in, you're doing your other stuff. And then you're converting them because you also have then the systems in place to implement the marketing campaigns. But then you have the system in place to handle the incomings. And then what if it actually is a client or customer? I have to actually work the account. Well, yeah, you have all that in place, right? And all those tools are available. All those people are doing this every day. You just need to jump on the bandwagon and jump on the train, jump on the monorail, go around Disney World for a couple times with us, and we'll get you there. And if it's something that Nicole and I don't do, we have a long list of great people to introduce you to that can get you to fill those voids. Okay. So you just this goes back to what we talked about earlier. Knock my sign down.
But bring it back, because we are almost done,
we're
friend.
done. So the reason why I'm saying that is because, yes, you might have been burned before. Don't put that as a learning experience. There's a lot of good people out there. We are good people that can connect you with the right people. If it's something that we don't know how to do that you need, so you could start here. Start between the two of us. Between the two of us, we can get you in so many correct directions, not to mention service you the way that you need to be done for what specifically we're doing. But we also have the resources of people that we trust, and we can make those introductions and at least guide you and look overall look at what you've got going on. So here, SaveMyFreedom.us. You can always click the link that says book a call on there. It says book a call, make more money, book a call. And then there's one on there too. If you want to do small business lending, there's small business lending options. It says lead generation. You click on that, but that'll get you a call. There's information on the website, but I want you could book the call with me. We'll do the one-on-one. We do the Zoom, right? And then we go through it, answer the questions. And I always want you to have my phone number, 601-301-3503. That's 601-301-3503, SaveMyFreedom.us. Click book a call. Book a call with me. Jump on. It's 30 minutes. I'm not going to charge you. If we go over, I still won't charge you for the call, okay? Nicole's not going to charge you for one-on-ones either. We're not going to do that.
I
want to
got
help you.
I think I have your information. I'm putting that in the chat. So yeah,
pop that in the chat. Pop her in the chat-o.
Yeah, if my email wants to work for me, the bots have taken over, and nothing comes up like it should anymore. You ever notice that?
Yeah. Oh, I know. It's just I stopped fighting with the tech a long time ago. But go this weekend. Go to Staples. You get the board, okay, and you get this size so you could put it up when you're doing a solo shot, and you can print this out. on Canva. I did it on Canva. I'm going to do an updated one do a QR code. I didn't do that before. I'm going to do a QR code. We're going to update this so that you can flash your sign at any time, whenever you're going on a show or a summit, or if you're in a networking group, you just flash your sign, because then it's recorded and then people have your information, right?
Yeah. Or put it behind you if you want to make a quick graphic,
like I
because
got
you
that,
don't want to
yeah,
drag it
yeah.
along.
Yeah.
You got it behind you, right? Or you
got
can hang
it.
it on the wall.
Hang it on the wall.
It's a few things that people can do. We've given you so
There's
many
all kinds.
tips.
There's all kinds of tips. But I love the
Here's
sign.
your
'Cause you can
sign.
flash. Here's your sign. Yes, that was Jeff Foxworthy back in the day.
Yep.
Here's your sign. So here's your sign. I'm giving you, this might be the best investment you ever made. That's the cheapest. And it doesn't have to be totally professional. Literally. If you need that, then
How
go.
hard is that?
Just
I know a
take
lot
it
of
to
people that
Canva.
have those paddles and they're holding stuff up and they're like,
just
yeah,
do it.
hell yeah, hell yeah.
Yeah,
Put your
make-
sign up.
put your
Nobody
sign
cares.
up.
You want
Here's your
you want a
sign.
disruptor pattern in that to get people to like kind of repivot. Like, did I just see what just flashed in front of
What
me?
was that? Was that somebody trying to make me money? Shameless
Yes.
self-promotion, because
You need
nobody
to.
is going to promote you. You have to promote yourself. A wise businesswoman years and years ago, back when I first started my mortgage brokerage, this was back in 2001. Okay. We took her to lunch thinking she was going to give us referrals and help us out. And we had to pay for her very expensive lunch. And the only thing I got out of her during the very expensive lunch, and I'll leave her name out of it because she's still active in the business world today in Arizona. She said, Michele, let me see your business card. So I showed her my business card and she turns it over and the other side was blank. And she goes, here's your mistake. I said, what? She goes, you never leave a billboard blank. She goes, always make sure that if you're going to have a business card, you put stuff on both sides, because you have the opportunity to get in front of somebody twice. So that is my final.
That lunch was worth it.
It was very expensive lunch. So, but she still gets on the chart. She still gets her name hidden from the public. Yeah, but she's a cool lady. I'm just giving her a hard time. But yes, the lunch was worth it, because that was one of the things that I learned. I learned many things, but that was one of the key things that I take away. And shameless self-promotion. Nobody is going to promote you but yourself. So make sure you do it all day, all the time. Do it in a tasteful way, of course. But you've got incredible resources here with Nicole. You've got incredible resources with me. Book calls with us. We'll help you. We'll guide you. I'll take you down the small lending trail, because again, this is the time, guys. Rates have just been lowered. This is the time to consolidate, leverage, and grow. Position yourself right now. Work on 2026 today. Figure out your sign. Talk about getting, do your podcast. You push record. You need to do the virtual stages. Get on them. Host your own. The best thing you could do is host a virtual summit. Nicole will help you out with that. But do this stuff now, and I've got the leads for you. It's a perpetual prospecting machine of people that are actively looking right now, ethically sourced, intense, time-based leads that are people that are looking online for what you have within the past 48 hours. And we hand these to you for every 48 hours. So you get your machine pumping you leads. It's all new. It's the new way to do things. So I am here.
100%.
I am the lone and the lead whisperer, baby. So call me. I am here to help you. I'm here to help you. I'm here to make money, because I want you not only to 2.0 your life, I want you to 20x your income in your business, and you can do it before the end of the year.
Awesome, guys. All right. Great podcast today, guys. Get that information. It is in the chat. Connect with Michele. Mic drop moment. Awesome. Awesome sauce. All right, guys. Have a great weekend. You've got a lot of business tips and tricks ready to grow your business.